So, good day to all. Our topic for today is about carrying capacity. This is our agenda. For the introduction, we're going to sum up the overall idea of the important concepts about sustainability by looking how early thinkers worried about population growth. Shown here is the world's population from the past until the 21st century. It is exponential. Therefore, this is unsustainable. Why? So this is the J-curve growth. Global population is now 7.89 billion. The growth rate today is about 1%. If this trend continues, world population will become 14 billion by 2080. What would happen if this came to pass? So we have here the Malthusian theory formulated in 1798. According to Thomas Malthus, population growth is exponential. So we can see a curved line that increases rapidly with time. On the other hand, agricultural production is arithmetic. So it increases with time in a straight line. If you put these two lines together in one graph and compare them, they would intersect at some point. After this point, the system breaks down. Famine, war, or disease have to prevent the population before exceeding the food supply. This is called the point of crisis, also known as the Malthusian catastrophe. The carrying capacity, the number of organisms that a region can support without environmental degradation. This S-shaped growth curve is for systems that match the resources available. We might grow quickly in the beginning, but the growth slows down as it approaches the carrying capacity. This S-shaped growth might be considered sustainable, unlike the J-shaped growth a while ago, or the exponential population growth. Factors affecting population growth. So birth rate and immigration increases the population, while death rate and emigration decreases the population. We have population limiting factors, environmental abiotic or biotic factor that restricts the number of individuals in a population. So we have competitors, disease and parasites, weather, fires, available habitat, and predators. Let's go to demographic transitions. We have these 4 stages of transition. So we have stage 1, 2, 3, and 4. In the first stage, we have high death rates and high birth rates. And they are matched so that the population remains stable. In the second stage, the death rate plunges as new technology, improvements in standards of living, increased nutrition, medicine, sanitation, etc. mean that more children reach adulthood and adults live longer. This leads to a big boom in the population. And then there's the stage when the birth rate decreases and it comes down to match the new low death rate. So this is the stage 3. Then finally, the final stage, we see a balance between these two. So we have a new higher population because we've gone through this population boom, but the population is no longer increasing. It appears that many developing countries are following this trajectory. So these are the three phases of demographic transition. Phase 1, so this is mostly observed in developing countries. We have high young age population, high fertility rate, short life expectancy, and low economic growth and saving rate. Phase 2, we have high working age population, lower fertility rate, slightly longer life expectancy, and high economic growth and higher income. Phase 3 is observed in rich countries. Here we have high elderly population, low fertility rate, longer life expectancy, and slowdown in economic growth and high saving rate. Let's watch a short clip about this demographic transition.
And they said the world is still we and them. And we is Western world, and them is third world. And what do you mean with Western world? I said, well, that's long life in small family, and third world is short life in large family. So this is what I could display here. I put fertility rate here, number of children per woman, 1, 2, 3, 4, up to about 8 children per woman. We have very good data since 1962, 1960 about, on the size of families in all countries. The error margin is narrow. Here I put life expectancy at birth, from 30 years in some countries up to about 70 years. And 1962, there was really a group of countries here that was industrialized countries, and they had small families and long lives. And these were the developing countries. They had large families and they had relatively short lives. Now, what has happened since 1962? We want to see the change. Are the students right? It's still two types of countries? Or have these developing countries got smaller families and they live here? Or have they got longer lives and live up there? Let's see. We start the world. And this is all UN statistic that has been available. Here we go. Can you see there? It's China. They're moving against better health. They're improving there. All the green Latin American countries, they are moving towards smaller families. The yellow ones here are the Arabic countries, and they get larger families, but longer lives, but not larger families. The Africans are the green down here, they still remain here. This is India. Indonesia is moving on pretty fast. And in the 80s here, you have Bangladesh still among the African countries there. But now Bangladesh, it's a miracle that happens in the 80s. The imams start to promote family planning, and they move up into that corner. And in 90s, we have the terrible HIV epidemic that takes down the life expectancy of the African countries, and all the rest of the world moves up into the corner where we have long lives and small family, and we have a completely new world.
For our conclusions, carrying capacity, again, this is the number of organisms that a region can support without environmental degradation. Economic, social, and environmental factors must be addressed to have a sustainable population growth. This is towards sustainable development goals. So here are the references. If you have some questions, comments, or suggestions, just put it in the comment section down below. Thank you.